sucks when someone who's your training partner, like, you know, and he's so good too. Yes, Cruz is that really good third strike player. Ooh, nice matchup. I always enjoy this one. Remy actually doing something. Rare footage of an advantage Remy matchup. This is still pretty fair. That was pretty unsafe. I don't know the speed of SPDs in this game, but they're still pretty fast. I would guess about 3 or 4 frames. Ooh. Hugo can win, but he has to have some clean parries. 90% of the parries are extremely easy, but you don't get anything when you get them. And then the other 10% are when you get close, and they're not hard parries, it's just you don't know what you're going to be parrying, but those are the rewarding parries. But there's a whole lot of fluff in this fight for Hugo. He has to choose his battles really well, but it's not that unfair. It's probably like a 6-4 in Remy's favor. But it's a very slow matchup. And Hugo often gets zoned, but getting zoned in third strike is very different from getting zoned in other Street Fighter games. Hugo probably did a really early air parry there, because he didn't act for a really long time. Remy could have landed and flash kicked, but it wasn't a huge deal. I used to play Cruz like a lot. Oh, he's trying for the flash kick juggle. That's kind of tight. It's not that tight. I'm surprised he's not getting it. It depends on how high you hit the jump fierce, but he like is doing a light flash kick when it's not going to work. I don't know if you can use a medium there, or if it's just like not a good height. Just juggling straight to flash kick is often a lot more reliable. There it was. That didn't even get him anything. On a lot of characters, you can do the cold blue kick and then do a flash kick afterwards. That didn't look nearly possible on that. That's safe even if Hugo parries it. That was nice. That was a really good take. What the hell? He should have gone for the damage. Why is he going for a taunt? You can do a clap into shoot down backbreaker there. It's a little hard to time, but it's not so difficult that he couldn't have done it there. If you're a Hugo player, you should have that skill. I think Fiance has 2 E's when it's a woman. That's a weird parry. It's very difficult to get that parry. Or it's like easy, but like knowing the timing, most people don't know it. And it'll be different depending on the height in which he supers. But you can react to the height. It's just a skill that most people haven't cultivated because it's not extraordinarily common. Whoa. Oh my god. Remy failed to punish. You can option select there pretty easily. You just block. You don't know when he's going to release, and it has invincibility, so you can't just safely push a button immediately. And you can get counter hit depending on when he releases. So what Hugos tend to do is they try and mix it up between when they release. But you can just... Remy could have just crouched fierce, like, reliably. What the fuck, dude? That's the second time he fucked that up. Come on. Like, all he has to do is watch until Hugo does the stop animation, then crouch fierce. Hugo can only keep running so long, and then he's got a little bit of recovery. What's up, nerd? Oh shit, what up? Ibuki's red color is really cool. I have no idea, but this matchup's probably even. Then again, Ibuki's dizzy output is actually pretty good. And she's also evasive. So I could actually see this being in Ibuki's favor. Ibuki's actually probably the most or second most balanced character in this game. She does okay against the low tiers and okay against the high tiers. I think a huge effort. There were several characters they tried really hard to rebalance from second impact to third strike. 12 went from like top tier to shit bottom tier. Dudley went from top tier to still top tier. Ibuki's the one they got right. Ibuki went from absolute top to like pretty fair. Ibuki you don't see very often at all. I used to say that Ibuki was at least more common than Elena, but I don't think that's true anymore. At least not in any of these archives. Nice. He was stand blocking and everything. He had to parry. 12 was new to third strike. Did I say 12 earlier? Sean was top tier and then went to bottom. Dudley was top tier and went to top tier. Or maybe just high. Ken was high and went to top, but they didn't buff him or anything. More that everyone else got worse. They might have buffed him a smidge. He got some new stuff, but the new stuff he got was not very good. Like someone said, he didn't have the step kick in his second impact, which I didn't even know. But no one does the step kick anyway. So like it's not really that important. Ryu is better than he is now, but he's still like mid-high now. And he was probably mid-high in second impact. So it's more like I think he was high in second impact. No, the stream just started. Ryu is like Ryu is only like Ryu was better in second impact, but everyone was, or like the top tier was better. The game was more imbalanced. Ryu was in about the same position relative to everyone else, even though in a vacuum he was a stronger character. See how Elena didn't get hit by the crutch run us Stairman House? That could have been just a range factor, but I've never seen that whiff like that. I blame Elena's wonky ass juggle hitbox. I mean, it was the range, but like, normally that picks up even out of range. You can juggle there. Oh, he got it. That's really cool. Elena's really cool. The problem with Elena, in my opinion, is that she has like a bunch of really cool things that you'll never get in a real match. And then the stuff that's good for her, like her potent tech, is extremely boring and plain. Tried to dash under the super. A lot of characters can do that. I could have done that if I was Zoro in that position. Ooh, wow. That was like crouch short, canceled uppercut, canceled the super. No hit confirm there, he just did it. Sometimes you need a hard read like that, though. Mix-ups like that work a lot in third strike because people go for high parries and shit. She has a really good low overhead mix-up. It's not like, the reason Elena's go for throw a lot is because Elena has like the third biggest car throw in the game. After, Chun-Li and Q. Q having the largest. Elena's mix-up is actually pretty good, but her damage is garbage. And she doesn't really have any hit confirms. I really like that character formula, actually. Amusingly, Elena went to being like a character with a good mix-up and like the best hit confirms. But her damage became even more garbage in Street Fighter 4. But like having damage garbage and having great options is a pretty good trade-off. It's better than the alternative. Wow. Get an uppercut? He got it. Looked like hard uppercut. I tried to do that a couple times and I couldn't figure out which uppercut it was. I kept on drawing light. I thought I was missing the timing, but it might just be hard. Yuri gets a lot of damage off of an up ball. Up ball has even if the opponent parries it, it's safe. And it has really good corner carry and extremely high damage combos associated with it. Wow. Wow. Good jump. Good awareness. Yeah, you can see how easily she gets hits in. Between roundhouse and her overheads and mallet smash and her Link's tail and her lows. It's really easy for Elena to add up damage, but that damage is just very piddly. That's a hard combo. Oh my god. No. Nice punish. I was like wondering if he could get a crouch fierce afterwards or if it was too slow. But that was much better. He didn't need a launcher. Good awareness. Nika. The Urian player's name. I'm pretty sure this is like Meat or Seer or something. It's Niku, but it might have a different pronunciation in names. And that's Da. Or Ta. Which is field, which is a common name ender. Nikuda. Nikada. Something like that. I've never heard of either of these guys. 17 years, huh? I didn't play it when it was new. I didn't play it for like 7 years after it came out. Whoa! Only one hit? Ken needs to use EX uppercut to have start to finish full body invincibility. The way that reversals work is pretty interesting in Third Strike. It's because they all have invincibility, or I shouldn't say they all, but a lot of them do. But the invincibility is from the first frame until some of the way through the animation, but not necessarily until the active frames. So like it'll be like 1 through 4 frames invincibility on like a 7-frame move, for example. Whereas moves that don't have total invincibility in Street Fighter 4 almost always have like invincibility or unthrowability, but not from the first frame. It'll be like, you know, frames 4 through 7 low invincible or something like that. Like no, like frames like 4 through 7 full body invincible, frames like, you know, 1 through 3 unthrowable or something. If it's like not supposed to be an invincible uppercut, which means that like meaty stuff, it doesn't matter how you time it. You just have to have the hitbox in the opponent on the first active frame. But in Third Strike, you need to have the hitbox. The way that it works is with that invincibility is either you need to have the hitbox in them on their first active frame and then have you recover before their uppercut would hit you, which works kind of on the same principles as the safe jump. Or you need to have a move with enough active frames that it can cover the first active frame. It can cover the first frame of their wake up all the way till when their invincibility ends. Those are like the 2 ways to use meaties. I think Hard Punch DP does have invincibility on first active frame, but I think it wears out before the hit. If I recall correctly, the only character with a meteorless uppercut that's invincible until the hit is Akuma. I guess I'll click this link. Oh my. Damn, that sloth. It's mad. That's so sad. I didn't know sloths could feel anger. Or resentment. That's kind of weird. I never really noticed that. If the opponent lands on a Sonic Boom, they get air reset. Almost every special move in this game, when you get hit by it when you're midair, you'll get knocked down. In Street Fighter in general, that's true. Is it the same frame? If it's the same frame, then that means it's prone to trading, which is still good. You can trade your way out of a scenario that still kills the opponent's Oki. I've done a universal overhead point blank and just beaten hard DP clean. I don't know how collision priority works with special moves. Comboing the trade is like gone in Street Fighter 4. That made me sad when I started thinking about it. It used to be, like, let's take Kami. If Kami did like a +2 attack into a like 6-frame stand fierce, the only normals that could trade with it would be 4-frame lights. Because there's only like 2 fucking 4-frame mediums in the whole game. So because it's a hard normal that would trade with lights, it'd be like, wow, it's really easy to like link out of that on reaction. If you see a trade, you can get a link that normally doesn't exist. But lights don't trade with hard, so like comboing the trade is gone. That was actually a really cool piece of tech that like is invalidated by the new engine. Pros used to use that. I feel like Geef Online. I feel like Geef Offline is still pretty scary. I think my two worst matchups as Laura. Whoa, do you get it? No, safe though, and he's got very little time left. Oh my! No! 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 Why was it not an EX boom? Why did you do a normal one? EX boom might have been the difference. Oh, what was I saying though? I feel like my two worst matchups as Laura were probably Chun-Li and Nash, and I think that Gal beats Chun-Li and Nash. I was pleased with that. I was like, wow, this is a good pair. Might keep Laura for that reason alone. Gal, like Laura, I got better with Laura very quickly just by learning like better meaty timings and stuff. But like I tried to figure out times to do meaties with Guile, but it seems like Guile's not really about that meaty. There are like few opportunities besides after a hard flash kick. He's got a nice little mix up between towards roundhouse and throw, but nothing involving like very little involving frame traps and nothing involving crush counters. Technically, you can frame trap into a crush counter hard punch, but hard punch is -4, so it's not that good. Well, oh no, he missed his final tackle. That would have been nice. Didn't matter. I'll probably just end up playing both characters for like a long time. I've been secretly honing my Guile. I don't really know how to use his V-trigger that well. I know like some scenarios where you can use it really well. For example, any cancel into a Sonic Boom, you can use V-trigger to confirm it to Stand Fierce, which is pretty nice. I'm pretty sure Elena's low strong punishes tackles, so I don't know why the fuck he blocked the tackle and did an overhead. Oh, Lena, did you see that? She got thrown the wrong direction. Elena's air her box. This is a healing Elena. That's probably the only matchup where Keef's EX SPD actually does something. Or I mean, it does stuff all the time, but the unthrowability, probably the only matchup where that's a big deal. Geef? Larry should be invincible. I have the two changes that would fix Geef as a character. Lariat has full body invincibility and a hitbox that goes all the way to his feet. Okay, that's change one. And then it's even more punishable, maybe, just to balance it. No, it doesn't even really need balancing. He's already weak. Alright, that's buff number one. Full body invincibility and a hitbox all the way down to his toes, but only for the first frame, for the toe hitbox. First active frame. So it hits like pokes that are already inside him. So you can like predictively lariat a poke. Alright? And then you can use it as a garbage wake up option, but still a mix up with like, you know, throw. And then the second change would be 5-frame sweep. Do it, damn it, 5-frame sweep. SF3 is not really a bad super choice in any matchup. The only matchups where you have to be kind of cautious about picking Super 3 are characters with good full screen presence. For example, Chun-Li with Super 2, or Yun pretty much any time. Characters who can rapidly cover the entire screen. And even then, it's not that hard to get a healing off, so it's not that bad to pick healing against those characters. I think Elena's usually pick Super 2 against Chun-Li, and I've seen all of them against Yun. I guess I usually see Super 1 against Yun. Super 3 is like probably the most common Elena super. but they all see a lot of use. Elena has 3 viable supers, and which one people use is pretty much preference. There's a little bit of matchup to it, but it's almost always just like, what people want to use. She's got healing, she's got Brave Dance where she jumps at you and does a bunch of attacks, and then she's got one that's 3 DPs. Wow, that anti-air. All 3 of her supers, or rather her ultra and her 2 ultras and super are her 3 supers in third strike. They did the same thing with like Hugo and most of the other third strike characters. Oh. No, he dropped it. That was a lot of damage he just left on the table. This matchup is kind of shitty, but it's not that shitty. Probably like a 6-4 in Yun's favor. It's not a huge deal. You can just do 2 quick rises. It does suck when that I've seen that fuck up people's quick rise timing. And I've done that a lot as Oro. I do like throw into super 2 and then it fucks people's quick stand. But you can just tap when you think it's gonna work and then tap after. 2 taps. Same thing for V-trigger. When people V-trigger and it fucks up your Shoryuken input. Like, exact same scenario. You can just do the Shoryuken before and then react to the V-trigger and then do it again after. People act like, oh my god, it didn't come out. My inputs were gobbled up by the freeze. It's like, shit, just do it again. In third strike, though, you can't... Anything you input during the super freeze isn't saved. The only thing that works during the super freeze is charging. You can't, like, do parries during the super freeze. I think that's kind of bad design. If there was one thing I could distinctly change in third strike, it would be that. It would make it so much easier to parry a super. I don't really like that component of, like... There are too many, like, 2-frame supers in this game. And it's too good to just use them to chip people out. Parries are supposed to be about, like, dodging chip outs. And it's only the initial parry that's hard. Parries shouldn't be difficult, I feel like. Parry should be a decision. Wow, this Tonden Renki. Tonden Renki increases the fuck out of Makoto's damage. But she loses EX, naturally, and she can't block, so she has to do a lot of parries. So it's almost never used. The only person I can think of who I've ever seen use Tonden Renki before is Mike Z. On paper, it's pretty good. But the fact that her Super 1 and Super 2 are so good, and the fact that you can't block are like huge deal breakers. The activation has quite a lot of invincibility too, which is nice. Super. Got it. Saw the frame. If you're like really good at parrying, you could probably make Tonden Renki work, but I've never seen it. Makoto has no reversal. Every time I've ever fought a Tonden Renki... Oh, did he get it? Oh, he just parried it. I didn't know if it would even hit her. It's good to OS parry it, I guess, in case it does hit you. Wow, the reads. Damn, RIP this Tonden. That's important. That's true, Yoma. Anytime I've ever fought a Tonden Renki Makoto as Oro, I always just do like a bunch of meaty command grabs. And Oro's command grab is, you can't jump out of it. Makoto has no wake up. And it can't be parried, but it has to be blocked. And I'm pretty sure that she can't block when she's in Tonden Renki. So you can just repeatedly do command grabs as Oro against Makoto. Get any knockdown and then just do meaty command grab like until her Tonden Renki runs out. I've never seen a Makoto successfully wake up through that. I do that and then the Makoto like reliably switches away from Tonden Renki. They're just like, yeah, fuck this. Ibuki could probably do something similar with her command grab, since Ibuki's is functionally identical to Oro's, except it has less range and is safer. Ooh! Dizzy, I think. Yeah. He he walked to a very awkward range. That was a good choice with the jump fierce. I think jump roundhouse probably would have gone over Yan. Makoto's walk speed is really bad. She couldn't get far enough fast enough. Jobza. Setochi. This guy was on last time. Versus Sana. I have no idea what that means. Sana's the one on the left. The yellow. Makoto's movement is kind of bad. I don't know how she anti-airs dive kick. She can probably jab them. Usually Makoto's just block them or parry them. Stand strong might work. I think it's color 7. That pink color. I was confused for a sec. I was like, wait, what the fuck? Yeah, Dash Punch would have dizzied. That wasn't quite right. Absolutely hit the opponent as fast as humanly possible. You want to do dash forward and then towards fierce 3 hits. If you just need to kill them really, really quickly. A Q. Sometimes I forget that Q is a character in this game. He feels very distinct from the rest of the cast. Also, you don't see him that much. I was thinking about that recently. I saw like a combo video, and there was a Q combo in it, and I was just like, man, I wonder what it's like to play Q. I had a flashback to this guy who I like played GGPO with years ago, who was like trying to learn Q, and I was like, let me just tell you what I know. And then I started thinking about like whether I could use what I knew about Q to play him myself. Q is... I don't know what the fong of SF3 means, but I'm tempted to say yes. I didn't know that. Is that true? Jab to cancel the recovery? Never heard that in my life. What the fuck? He hit him crouching though, or else that would have comboed, I think. Oh, GG. No, he missed a super cancel. This matchup is bad. Oh, wrong version? He should have done EX. Why the fuck didn't he? That was like a series of errors, but none of the errors mattered at all. There are definitely dashes that you can cancel early into things. That's like a common thing in Third Strike. Aura's dash is so fast, I don't even know if you can cancel it. It's like one of the faster dashes. Probably like the second or third fastest, honestly. Oh, that's Samurai House. He's doing that a lot. It's working. What kind of bizarre tech is this? I've never seen that. Oh, man, I love that about Street Fighter 2 and Street Fighter 3. Every now and then you find someone who just has like a little button. Like some very weird knowledge of a matchup. Something just works. Like something you never ever see ever, but it works super well against certain characters. He's making that work like amazingly. That's really cool. I've never seen Makoto hit that button at all. Not on purpose. And he made a pretty good case that it destroys Elena. Holy shit. That was cool. What, like, weird, elaborate knowledge. I wonder if that guy has, like, a fucking training partner who plays Elena. You always see that. Anyone who primarily trains against a certain character has, like, really bizarre, good knowledge against that character. You ever see that? You ever see, like Chris Tatarian fight a Rufus? Or, like, something like that. You You just see someone who plays a matchup a fuck ton, and it's a matchup that most people generally don't know. Matchup knowledge goes far deeper than most people think it does. Pretty much the only reason Kuroda can beat like better players, I shouldn't say better players, better characters with Q, is because of his crazy elaborate matchup knowledge. Hiroyuki. I'm pretty sure that's just a name. I've heard it before. It might mean something. Flailing arm poison move. That's pretty interesting, yeah. You're talking about his Nishikyu? EX is safe on hit, but non-EX is not safe on hit if he's like doing it and it's hitting you like really close. Wow. Nishikyu is the two balls he throws into the sky. I would call that Fung's like main zoning move. Man, that's bullshit. Fuck Chun-Li. That's so BS. When you parry the low forward and hit a button and then she supers you through your button. Because Chun-Li's fucking super starts up in 3 frames or some shit. Well, this is like... Chun-Li's wake up is bad. Oh my god, he baited it. Oh, the dash punch. That one is Sotoja. Akagairu. I like this guy a lot. You rarely get to see good Alex, but this is like the one guy who's good who plays Alex on any of these archives. Oh, he could have done EX, whoa. Bad meaty. Towards Fierce is a bad meaty anyway. I think he hit confirmed that from the jump. That's a good habit to build. Is being ready to do your max damage combo if your jump and attack hits. Alex is not a very hard character to counter poke. I feel like most people who play a lot of Alex like learn their anti-Alex buttons. Alex can't crouch very well. His crouch is still extremely tall, which makes buttons like Aura Stairman House Makoto stand forward extremely good against him. I didn't know they were ever streamed. Isn't it on like Nico Nico or something? Game versus. Interesting. I'm getting messaged on Steam. Oops, I just paused it. I didn't mean to pause it. There we go. Game versus. Alright, I'll sub to it. Kareen's sweep has the longest recovery in the game. What about like Bison? Did you consider Bison? There's Sobi. It's like Mizunaka. Is that Mizu? I think that's the kanji for water. And middle. I don't know if it's pronounced Mizunaka though. It's like a name. It's definitely a name. Usually. Wow. He just did wake up EXX. That killed before he could even get the follow-up dizzy combo. The thing about Karine is that even though it's really unsafe, she can space it so that it's really difficult to punish. And the thing about that is that the way that you have to punish it is by hitting the extended limb before it can go back. Which basically takes a really fast attack. They won't necessarily have enough range. What the fuck? That was really good tech. How bizarre. He did like a meaty stand jab or something. I think it was stand jab. It was like the gut punch. I'm pretty sure that's stand jab, and it's like a stand medium punch in Street Fighter 5, but they swapped it. It could have been close jab. I don't know what his close jab looks like. Anyway, he did some gut punch, okay? And then it was parried, and he canceled the parry into command grab. And that's really clever, because stand jab can be parried low or high. So if the opponent's going for parries at all, and they parry something, you can cancel the command grab. And they're in parry stun, and they can't tech that command grab. So they need to hit you. They need to parry and then hit you before the command grab comes out, which is kind of hard because you're canceling the jab and cancels to into command grab. And that's really clever because stand jab can be parried low or high. So if the opponent's going for parries at all, and they parry something, you can cancel the command grab. And they're in parry stun, and they can't tech that command grab. So they need to hit you. They need to parry and then hit you before the command grab comes out, which is kind of hard because you're canceling the jab and cancels. You can still cancel parried moves. What the fuck? He went for a stylish combo, I think. Oh my god. That was a full heal. That meaty fierce. Oh, he could have supered! What reversal did he do and why wasn't it super? Oh my god, this Alex has had opportunities. Burning the bar. He might regret that if he doesn't win. Alright. That move has a little bit of invincibility, but not a lot. I'm surprised it beat that. Stand medium punch EX air grab. It's very common for Alex to get a mid-air connect stand medium punch and be able to get EX knee afterwards. Especially after like an anti-air parry. Elena has air target combos which give Alex problems though. This is Kiraki. He's one of the better Elena players in these game versus matches. I don't know if he's better than Turbine, but he shows up later in the team. EX up grab, 2-frame startup. That doesn't sound right, but it might be. If that's true, then I didn't know that. It has to be really fast in order to combo from stand strong before it air resets the opponent. So I guess I wouldn't be that surprised. But that's still a lot faster than I thought it was. Good old Elena. The price of those is a lot more significant in this game than it is in Street Fighter 4. It's not like you'll just have one at the end of every round by default. It takes your actual super bar. Ooh. Ah, the overhead. That was scary. Majika. It's like unbelievable, right? Impressive. Something like that. Umai is impressive. Yama. I'm like 80 or 90% sure this Yama is not the same as Yamazaki, who's that old 12 player. One pixel comebacks. The thing about one pixel comebacks in Third Strike is that they, like, almost every single match, the opponent is reduced to a spec before they're killed. So there's always, like, a parry scramble. So people who play Third Strike are usually really good at the scramble. The scramble being that position when one person is about to die and or both people are about to die. Oh, that tick. An airline almost chosen because it has very little hit stun. Nice anti-air option. 12's footsies are pretty good. Every now and then I just see something that reminds me. Look at Alex mowing through all these low tiers. Naga versus Machabo, first to 7. I don't even know who either of those are. What game and what characters? Oh, it's Guilty Gear, Exerd. I got distracted by Steam messaging. Wow, what a chip out. Oh man, I wish I'd seen that. It was an extremely long round in which a 12 managed to triumph over Chun-Li. 12 has the footsies to play this matchup, but Chun-Li kills in 2 touches and 12 kills in 30. And that just makes it really, really bad. That just makes it nearly impossible to win. This is a really garbage matchup. This is probably 12's worst matchup. And it's probably like, wow, he could have had a combo into Super 1 there. There it is. That's a pretty fast Super. Damn, this 12. Those ambiguous cross-ups with the jump roundhouse. 12's invisibility is okay. It would be better if he had a better overhead, but he only has the universal overhead. I think he's the only character without an overhead normal or special. I like literally can't think of another character with no overheads at all. Chun-Li's got Hazanshu and like her hold medium kick move. This matchup is pretty neat. It's pretty fair too. 12 has good tools to fight Urian. He can easily hit through the mirror using his projectile. He's got good footsies when mirrors are not on the screen at all. He can escape corners quite easily with his air dash. He can get over mirrors quite easily with his air dash. Overall, he has pretty nice tools here. Super 1 goes through mirrors too. And like, Urian is very reliant on pokes when mirrors are not currently on screen. And 12 has the pokes to beat Urians. This is actually like a really... Look at that. See that? This is actually like a pretty fair matchup. This is like one of the... This is actually like a good matchup in a game that's in a... with a character who normally has really terrible bad ones. Good escape. One low parry and then throw is like the most reliable escape option. But the Urian has to kind of like allow you to do it. Because Urian can do stuff that... The mirror can be parried low or high. But Urian can do stuff that can be parried high only or low only. Third strike tiers aren't that bad. Also, they're just fewer characters, so people who like a particular playstyle. I like how he blocked a tackle, and his punish was low short. Fucking 12, man. That hurts. 12's low short and low jab are really good, but the damage is so bad, and you have no combo options. They both combo to, I think, light axe, which then combos to super. But that's like a point blank only combo. You see how he just got low short and he went to axe and it didn't do anything? Look at that! That's good. That's a good tool. He could have confirmed a super there. He wasn't ready. Oh my god. This could go either way. It's scary though. 12 has less health. Urian has above average health. 12 has below average. Oh, what a crack! He couldn't kill. He could have killed with meter. No stand jab. That's a really good normal. 12's normals are really good. Except for damage. Damage and combo ability. That's why they suck. In every other front, they're amazing. One kind of cool thing that 12 can do is his back walk and forward walk both have low profile frames. Like non-stop low profile, actually. So he can like forward walk under jumps and stuff like that. That's what he's doing right now. It's a very unusual anti-air option. It has the unfortunate side effect of if you want to go for an anti-air parry, sometimes you'll like duck under the hit. But that's okay because like low profiling their air attack and anti-air parrying really doesn't create that different of a scenario. This 12 really likes the walk forward anti-air. He could probably go for some low strongs. There it is. He's just been walking forward into throw on every single jump in. He finally he baited the, wow! That usually only gets 3 hits. He red parried the third hit and then swept and it was a punish. That's almost always safe, Axe. It was really interesting to see a red parry and then a punish that was actually fast enough. That crouch medium kick doesn't lead to anything, but it's got a pretty good hitbox and a very recessed hurtbox. 12's air normals are extremely good. Nice. Low short might actually be the optimized punish on tackle if 12 doesn't want to use meter. That's why 12 sucks, is situations like that. 12 looks okay, and then you see a guaranteed punish scenario, like after a parry, or after like a block super or something like that, and he just does something so pathetic, it's just like, Chun-Li's actually the same way. If Chun-Li doesn't have super, her punishes are so garbage. But Chun-Li like is a good character for other reasons. 12 gets his damage very slowly. I can see why they would be worried that this character was broken, even though he's like possibly the worst character in the game. 3 wins in a row, including against the Chun-Li, is kind of a big deal, though. Chun-Li fucks 12 up. Chun-Li reversal super against a lot of 12 normals is just a punish. Nice. He was too far away to get anything else. Jump run husk creates kind of a bad follow-up scenario, even though it's got a good hitbox. Wow, that just hit. That actually hit 12 while he was doing his low-profile bullshit. 12 needs to find something else. Wait, never mind. Just work that time. Maybe he like released. He tried to do stand medium kick anti-air. Tried to red parry the last hit. That's a sign of skill. People only go for that when they're really good. Nice. That's safe on block. Or safe on block. What the fuck am I talking about? It's usually safe even when parried, but I guess they were very close to each other and 12 was kind of close to the ground. Instant air dashes are actually very easy to do. They work the same as like Guilty Gear and games like that, anime games. You just do up forward and then release and then forward. Wow. What a good punish. Never mind. The stand strong was really good. He dropped this combo, but that's the way that you can... That's the salvage tech. If you get the wrong hits of light machine gun blow, you do stand strong and it gets a reset, and then you can do stuff from there. That's like the combo for if you drop your combo. It's not that hard to react to the new scenario, but it's just a nice little shine of skill when the Dudley gets it. It's like this guy. This guy has that tech. Oh, that would have hit if Dudley fell a little farther. Even in an air reset, supers will juggle. As long as there's juggle potential remaining. Ew. Confirming air one-hit attacks into fast supers is not that difficult. It's only as difficult as like doing various other one-hit confirms in this game. One-hit link confirms, that is, not like Chun-Li's crouch forward. More like wow. That was a good parry. That was a really good parry. That's a hard parry to hit. He might have already parried before the freeze. He might have parried after the freeze. If he parried after the freeze, then it was a one-frame window. If he parried before the freeze, which he may well have, then it wasn't a super difficult parry, but had good foresight. Oh my god. That was the wrong punish. Chicken combo would have done more damage and built a lot more meter. And he should have known that he would have enough time to get that stand strong. Sermon is a good anti-air against Dudley, but a Dudley who's jumping in with parries is difficult. It's difficult for Oro to use other attacks to anti-air Dudley because Dudley's jump is very low. Ape shit. Wow, this is going to be a cool juggle. Huh, he messed it up. It's early jump jab slash strong slash whatever into dash under, and it gets 2 hits of the fireball. It's a quick left right unblockable. You don't see that one very often. I don't think I've ever gone for it in a real match, but I've known it's been possible forever. I almost never do wake up EX uppercut into super. Wow, that was daring. He went for the red parry. That was it! He could have just won off of that. Oro's never out of it, especially in this matchup with this super and that amount of meter. He will literally kill off one touch. Oh! Do it right, do it right, do it right. He's too close to the corner. Yes! The hard one. Yes! What a good reset! That was intelligent. Dudley is bad at punishing Oro's command grab, but he can punish it. I think he needs ducking super. I think he needs a super in order to punish it. If it's like a spaced command grab. Nice. Oh, he went for 2 parries and Dudley only did 1 attack. That's really unusual that Dudley only went for 1 attack. Dudley almost always does the tower combo unless he has super, and then he does the super. Alright, let's see it right. There it is. Ah. The only reason you would do towards Roundhouse and not the forward follow-up if you didn't have the meter to do a super is to bait the double parry. But like some parry plus follow-up timings and parry plus follow-up timings will still punish. It's tricky, but it's really not that bad at all to eat only the second hit of that turret combo. Like, it sucks because you didn't get the punish. It's nice that Dudley has a little 50-50 there, but like it's not very punishing at all. He can't do anything off of that stand medium kick. Wow, that counterpoke. This is generally seen to be Hugo's worst or second worst matchup. Dudley has a kind of recessed hurt box on a lot of his attacks, which makes him very difficult to counterpoke, and also very difficult to throw, which is not a factor for any other character, but a really big deal for Hugo. Sometimes it'll look like he's in range, and then you'll see reversal super 1, and Dudley just won't get hit. I don't know. I don't think so. Offhand, I'd never know these things. It might be a hard knockdown. I almost never see non-EX clothesline. I think that you can quickstand EX clothesline, so you can probably quickstand all of them. But there's like no use for any of them, except the EX one. because the X1's the only one you can combo into and it's unsafe, and it doesn't really function to mix up. The only time I've ever seen one that wasn't EX used on purpose is the hard one after certain ultra throws. At certain ranges, you can't do anything else except a monster lariat. I believe in you, ISB. You're the best. You could have been SPD, right? That was nice. Yeah, usually it's just the supers. Wow, that jab! He could have comboed a super there, but what he got was still good. But like when he did the neutral jump down Pierce, that was a hit confirm to super. He should have been mashing it. YSB picks Super 3 in almost every matchup, and Super 3 is generally considered to be the better super against Hugos. There it is. That was it. That was the scenario I was talking about earlier. Certain ultra throws, you do monster lariat. Ooh. What's up, Ice Lancer? I don't think I've ever seen your name here. You need a new face? Oh my god! Oh my god! He tried to OS against that. OS is the wrong word. He figured he would be able to punish it even if... Wow. Good to confirm. Jesus. Oh my god. If that was jump medium kick instead of jump down fierce, it would have been over. Actually, jump medium kick probably wouldn't have killed, and he probably wouldn't have had a juggle. Oh my god. That has a pretty good anti-air hitbox, but you almost never see it because of how insanely easy it is to parry and how insanely punishable it is when parried. The taunt for more health. This is a hard comeback to make. Oh, now it's looking a lot more feasible. Hugo, yes! Hugo in his dizzy recovery animation is crouching, so you can do crouching only combos on him, such as 3 claps into super. Wow, nice bait. Why? Why YSB? Okay. Who's the best Sean player? There are no dedicated Sean players at all. The one player who's always cited is Tokido, who once picked Sean semi-jokingly at a pick 3 characters and no top tiers event. And like you had 3 characters, and once the character was elimed, you had to pick your next character. And also top tiers were like against the rules, and Tokido's main is Chun-Li. So he had to pick 3 characters, and he couldn't pick his main. So his 3 characters were, I think, Sean, Ryu, and Urian. If you search Tokido Sean, he played Sean in that event and did surprisingly well, considering he was playing a couple really good players who were using like better characters. In 2i, I don't know who the pros are at all. 2i has never really been played that competitively. It was only out for a year. It was like 1998 was the year of 2i. Urian is generally not considered top tier. I've never seen him on any top tier list. He's usually considered to be on the low end of high. He's definitely not top 5. Top 5 is quite rigidly Yun, Chun-Li, Ken, Dudley, and Makoto. Not in that order. Maybe in that order. My tentative top 5 is Yun, Chun-Li, Makoto, Ken, Dudley, in that order. But emphasis on tentative. Chun-Li might be better than Yun. It's hard to say. They're very close. Almost every tier list said Yun, Chun-Li, Ken, Makoto, Dudley. In that order. I'm not sure who the character would be after those. Maybe Akuma, maybe Yang. They're probably the contenders for not quite top tier. There's been a lot of debate about that, Ducky. Actually, we've got a very interesting thing to watch after this. Kuroda famously, it's long been considered that Yun counterpicks Chun-Li, but Kuroda famously said that at the highest level of play, Yun ceases to be a Chun-Li counterpick, and the character who has the best chance against Chun-Li is Ken. But Kuroda has some really weird opinions about matchups. But then also Kuroda is really good and does a pretty good job at making his weird opinions look like facts. Chun-Li Q is probably 8-2 or 7-3. It's not that bad. Q has a hard time playing footsies against Chun, but everyone does. And Q gets his taunts off very well in the first match, in the first round, which is kind of, it helps. Chun-Li has terrible damage output, so you can basically just get blood taunts against Chun-Li, as long as she doesn't have a super. If she does have a super, then she has good damage output. Chun-Li, like, even with a jumping combo, Chun-Li struggles to even the damage of the taunt's health increase. But she's probably not going to be randomly jumping in praying for you to taunt, or rather, you're probably not going to be taunting at the times when she would be at the range to do that. YSB, Miracle. Oh, that's going to juggle. You got 2 hits. You can get 3 if you're lucky. Luck isn't really a component of it. It depends on the character you're fighting and the height in which you do it. He might have been able to hold it a little longer and get 3 hits, but it probably wouldn't have mattered that much. It gives you slightly better Oki. Makoto can get good punishes on taunts regardless of meter, but she gets phenomenal punishes on taunts if she has meter. Q's 3 taunts, almost double his health. And Q already has like above average health. Red Makoto with full taunts. I don't think her third taunt does anything. Her first 2, I'm pretty sure, increase her damage and stun. I actually don't remember if holding her taunt does anything. It might only do something the first time you activate it. Chun-Li Super 2 is definitely not the best super in the game. It's kind of good. It's pretty difficult to parry, and it does pretty nice damage, and the meter is pretty nice. But it's more so her hit confirms that are broken than the super itself. And it's not even her hit confirms that are broken, it's the fact that she has good hit confirms and a good Kara throw. You can't be broken off of one thing in third strike, you need a mix-up to be broken off of. Or else people can just do the counter to that one thing, because everything has a counter in this game. There's no way to be safe. You can never be truly safe in third strike. I would say those 2 immediately when talking about best super in the game. Those 2 are probably the best. Aegis takes what would be a low tier character and makes him high tier. And Gane takes what would be a high tier character and makes him like top tier. Aegis probably creates the better shift in tiers. But that could just be that, you know, Gurion has more of a crutch. Doesn't necessarily make Aegis the best super. Stun gun is generally considered to be bottom 1. Now, bottom 1 is probably Remy's Super 3. Or maybe Tanden Renki, I guess. I don't know. Tanden Renki has been made to work. There are supers that have never been made to work. Aura Fireball is a very good super. I would call that top 3. I would call Aura Super 2 and Super 3 not top 3. I would call those both top 5 supers in the game. Aura has phenomenal super, and he's also good meterless. Nocturne, Blue Nocturne is Remy Super 3. It's a parry super. It's kind of like, or like a counter super, rather. On paper, it can't be hit confirmed because it's a counter. Or rather, I don't know. In practice, it can't be hit confirmed because it's a counter. But on paper, you can parry multi-hit moves. And then, like, Blue Nocturne on reaction to the fact that it's a multi-hit move. And then force the opponent to hit it. So, like, let's say you're blocking, like, a Dudley Super 3. If you blocked, like, 2 hits and then red parried the 3rd hit and then supered, then the fourth hit would hit Remy's blue Nocturne, and then Remy would do the follow-up. For what it's worth, the follow-up almost always hits properly, which is kind of surprising given that the opponent can be doing literally anything when they hit it. It's generally fast enough to hit the opponent, and then it generally hits them on the ground. Yeah, the opponent has to do a confirm on you in order for you to use blue Nocturne. Boomerang Raid, if it had that vacuum effect, that's really pathetic. Alex has bad supers. That's his best one. And yeah, like that's often brought up. It's like, wow, it'd be really nice if Alex could actually reliably, if the opponent didn't fall out of this. Punishable on hit is really stupid anytime it happens. Alex's supers are just a sad state. Also, hi, Ebony Knight. That's a cool name. It's like Black Knight, but a little more homosexual. I'm just fucking around. If anything, Ebony makes me think of straight porn. Oh. Everyone who ever sees a counter super is like, wow, this shouldn't have a super freeze, and they're all right. Counter super should not have super freezes. I think the only game I've ever played where a counter super didn't have a super freeze was Daimon's Neomex in King of Fighters 13. Tominaga is a good player. Wow. He low parried and he did low forward and he didn't cancel the Tatsu. I presume because he saw a crouching opponent. I guess if you're low parrying, you're almost always going to be parrying a crouching move. Wow. He just went for that. So after after Akuma's medium Tatsu, you can get a medium DP, and on some characters a hard DP. How difficult it is based on what opponent you're fighting. I'm pretty sure medium Tatsu into medium DP point blank works on everyone, but on a lot of characters it's one frame. That's kind of nice. Ooh, Stan Renhouse trying to hit that. Wow! First and last hit. That's a juggle state. There's only a couple ways to get that reliably. He just, it was incidental. It was fortunate, and it was good that he was ready. There were a lot of juggles he could have done. He didn't have to do, like, wow, nice. He didn't have to do a jump medium kick or whatever that was. But he probably was aware of that weird connect because that's the juggle you do when you get that connect on purpose. Or that's not the juggle you do, but like you can have a juggle there if you get that connect on purpose. Hard Tatsu first and last hit like has a juggle state, and most Akumas know at least one combo that uses that. I don't know that much about Mark of the Wolves, but I could do KF 13 or KF 98. You would think this matchup would be horrible, because parry equals die, but it's not that bad. It's probably a 6-4 in Makoto's favor, even though Makoto literally one-touches Akuma. I've never played a fighting game with a matchup like that. I say that, but like Oro Dudley is like a 5-5 when Oro one-touches Dudley. This Akuma player is really good. Zabi. That dive kick's kind of hard to combo out of. That was nice. Some of them play other games, but just because you're a pro in one fighting game doesn't make you a pro in all of them. Oftentimes, the best players of one Street Fighter will be like not that good of another. It's very rare that you get some guy like fucking Snake Eyes who's a killer at Street Fighter 2 and then also a killer at Street Fighter 4. Or like Tokido or Mago or any of them. It's common that there are some of the better players, but it's rare that they're like, you know, it's rare that they're like tournament winners in multiple games. But it's common to be like high placer in multiple games because skill carries over somewhat. But generally, people only have the time or the commitment to invest in one game, and they usually do the one they like more. Keisuke played Street Fighter 4. I think he played Abel. The Alex to Abel is a surprisingly bad transition. They don't really have that much in common besides big white guy with command grab. Now everyone knows that because they can play Abel or Alex. Now people can see. Now both Abel and Alex have been in recent games. Mago's been a damn good player of a fuck ton of different fighting games. I would say Jay Wong as well. Nuki was considered to be one of the best Chun-Li players in vanilla, and then he just dropped off. He wasn't like that interested in it. Very tricky. Abel and Hugo. Is that match? Match. Match is probably the best Akuma I see regularly. I've seen better Akuma players, but like they've been like weird one-offs. Like Kuroda's Akuma. It was like better, it was worse than matches in some ways, but better in other ways. Or like Jiro. He's like better and worse than match depending on context. Yukio Toko. Ooh, the medium to hard. That gives you a taunt. I want to see Justin Wong Korean against more Japanese players. I want to see Justin Wong duke it out with the best of Japan. What's the next event where that's going to happen? Oh, there it is. Look at that. That's the controlled setup for getting a first and last hit hard Tatsu. Is after a midair Tatsu. Ooh. One thing I kind of appreciate about Akuma is that the super meter, I thought this was kind of neat. The super meter doesn't start flashing for him until he gets one super bar. I didn't realize that, and I was like, wait a second. Flashing super means has at least some way of using meter. Akuma, when he's got less than one bar, his super doesn't flash. Less than one super bar. Like, it's impossible for other characters to have this much meter and have it not be flashing. So the game actually tells you when you have an EX move available. Even though it's not divided into sections. I would call that one of the biggest flaws of Third Strike, is that it's unclear. It's unclear how many EXs you have. I don't know how they would fix that though. I guess they could just divide the bars with little ticks starting from the inside of the screen. Yes, Akuma has what, 7 supers. Akuma has Air Super 1, Air Super 3, Ground Super 1, 2, and 3, and KKZ and even. And just for what it's worth, Air Super 1 and Air Super 3 have different properties in their ground versions. Neat. He could have juggled Super there. I like that he saved the bar though, because he's not doing well enough yet that he could reasonably win this. But now he is. Don't burn the bar until you're sure of the comeback I like. Oh no! Oh no! That was weird because Akuma's fireball actually hit Ryu, but it also nullified one of the 2 hits of his EX fireball. And then he only got hit by one of them. The other one. Ooh. Nice confirm. 2-hit confirms are kind of difficult. A lot of people who play characters with 3-hit confirms like don't bother to learn 2-hit confirms. I think Shotos all have on a lot of characters, Shotos can't do their 3-hit confirms, so they need to have the 2-hit hit confirms as well. Like I think Yang can do like 3 hits on every character, so most Yangs don't usually do like 2 hit confirms if they can help it. Um, Theoretically, yes, all of Akuma's supers are viable, but they all have the same setups, and Super 1 is the best of them. So people only run Super 1, even though they're all pretty good. Also, all of Akuma's supers are the same length, so for none of the supers is Raging Demon or KKZ cheaper. Akuma's Tatsu super is pretty good. Oh no, Akuma. Oh no. Oh no, but no. That was ham. I appreciate how ballsy that EXDP was. Is this Mester? Mesta. Not only, it's bullshit. Not only does that build a decent amount of meter and also hit confirm his Genei for like high damage combos, but it's also a good activation even on block. It like forces you to put the opponent into it forces the opponent to be in block stun, which gives you a free mix-up starting your Genei. Third Strike Akuma has very low health. It's lower than people would expect. He has about 2/3 of the health other characters have in this game. Maybe a little more. But it's like the equivalent of having like fucking 600 some health, 700 some health in Street Fighter 4, which is lower than even like Vanilla Seth had. Akuma fucking breaks if you hit him in third strike. Wow. Yikes, donkey kick combo? Didn't even need it. Yan has very low health too. A lot of the good characters in this game have low health. Ken and Dudley have high health. So does Urian. They're like the only top tiers with good health. And Makoto. They all have the same health. They have the upper average. They have the equivalent of 1050, I suppose. Wow. I'm pretty sure Sean has the equivalent of... There's like... Every character, for the most part, has either 1120 or 1200 HP. I think Ryu and Ken have the 1200, but Sean has the 1120. I'm pretty sure that Sean has below average health. Anyway, I said we had